Dutch Schaefer thought his war was over until the predators returned, faster, deadlier, and smarter than ever. In the unforgiving Badlands, the hunter becomes the hunted as Dutch faces a new breed of enemy that remembers him and has evolved to kill him. The sun hung low over the Badlands, casting long shadows over the cracked earth and rusted skeletons of long-abandoned buildings. The wind howled through the ruins, kicking up dust as Dutch Schaefer moved with steady precision. He had spent years avoiding this fight, but the past had a way of catching up. The message had been clear. They're back, and if he didn't stop them, no one would. His fingers tightened around his plasma rifle as he scanned the horizon. Something was out there, watching, waiting. A faint shimmer danced in the air, barely noticeable against the rolling heat waves. Dutch froze, his breath slowing. He had seen this before. A blur of movement confirmed his suspicion. They had learned. The predators weren't just hunters anymore. They were something worse. He barely had time to duck as a razor-sharp projectile shot past his head, embedding itself into an old gas station sign. The metal groaned, and the sound echoed through the wasteland. Dutch turned sharply, raising his weapon, but nothing was there, only the wind and the growing sense that he was no longer the one in control. His earpiece crackled. "Dutch, do you see it?" It was Sarah, his contact from a covert intelligence unit that had been tracking the extraterrestrial killers for years. "Oh, I see it," Dutch muttered, "but it sees me first." A sudden whoosh, another projectile, this time closer. Dutch rolled behind a crumbling wall just in time. His pulse pounded in his ears as he counted his breaths. 1, 2, 3. He spun out of cover, firing twice. The first shot hit nothing, but the second struck something solid. Sparks flew, followed by a deep, guttural roar. Dutch smirked. "Still bleed, huh?" The response was immediate, a blur of movement, then impact. Dutch was knocked backwards, skidding through the dirt. He grunted as he hit the ground, rolling onto his back just in time to see the predator decloak. It wasn't like the ones from before. This one was leaner, more agile. Its armor was fused with an eerie biomechanical design, as if it had evolved beyond simple tools of war. Its mask gleamed under the setting sun, and its glowing yellow eyes locked onto Dutch. "Yes, I pissed you off," he said, pushing himself up. The predator tilted its head slightly, then did something Dutch never expected. It spoke. "Schaefer." Dutch's blood ran cold. It remembered. Before he could react, the predator lunged. He dodged just in time, feeling the heat of its wrist blades slice the air beside him. He fired again, but the creature was too fast. It was on him in an instant, grabbing him by the throat and lifting him effortlessly. Dutch struggled, gripping its arm, but its strength was beyond anything he had faced before. His vision blurred, his lungs burned. His fingers found his belt, his last option, a grenade modified with stolen alien tech. He yanked the pin and let it drop. The explosion tore through the air, sending Dutch flying. The shock wave rattled his bones as he hit the ground hard. Coughing, he pushed himself up, reaching for his rifle, but it was gone, lying yards away in the dust. The predator stepped through the smoke, barely phased. A low, menacing growl rumbled from its chest as it took slow, deliberate steps toward him. Dutch gritted his teeth. He had fought these things before, but this one was different, smarter, stronger. It wasn't just hunting him, it was studying him. Then, a gunshot, not his. The predator flinched as a sniper round struck its shoulder. Another shot hit just below its mask. Dutch didn't hesitate. He lunged for his rifle, rolling into a crouch. "Let's get clear." Sarah's voice rang through his earpiece. Not happening. He steadied his weapon and fired. The plasma bolt hit dead center, sending the predator staggering. He moved in, relentless, firing again. The creature roared in frustration, its blood sizzling as it dripped onto the cracked earth. For the first time, Dutch saw hesitation in its movements. He took his chance, closing the distance, blade in hand. "Not so tough now, are you?" The predator bared its mandibles, letting out a final snarl. Before it could react, Dutch drove his knife deep into its side, twisting hard. A shudder ran through the creature's body. It let out a gurgling roar before collapsing to its knees. Dutch stepped back, breathing heavily. The desert was silent again. Sarah emerged from the ruins, rifle still raised. "Is it dead?" Dutch stared at the predator's unmoving form. The hunt was over, but deep down, he knew this was just the beginning. Because if they had learned to remember him, then they had learned to adapt.